first you need to import this matplotlib libraries, and by using the plt plot you can plot your anything. Okay. So next, if you want to plot your line chart, so how will you plot your line chart? Like this is your x-axis values, this is your y-axis values, and you need to import a plot function, because the function is available in matplot libraries. So you can just write a plt.plot x comma y, and then you can just show your plot. So whatever is your x and y axis, according to that you can see your plot. So in the same way, this is you can import a bar plot, and this is a simple way of using histogram. So I'm doing nothing but just changing the value of x and y axis, and just changing the function. So here this is the histogram function, so it will show the histogram chart. If you want to plot a scatter plot, so the function just need to change the function for this is scatter plot, and need to show your plot. After that, Pandas is a software library written for the Python programming languages for the data manipulation and analysis. So here what you can do, you need to import, you can work with your CSV file, you can work with your any data form by by importing the libraries in the pandas form. So pandas with matplotlib. For this, to import your pandas with matplotlib, what you need to do is you need to import pandas as pd, and this work with both matplotlibs and numpy array. So if you want to and if you want to work with data frame series and one dimension, because this is nothing but a one dimension, two dimension kind of array in pandas. So I'm not gonna go into deep for this pandas, because today's my target is to teach you logistic regression. So in using the pandas or data frame, what you can do in this way, pd dot data frame and np dot random. So this is a random box plot. Different type of plots is available in matplotlib libraries by using pandas libraries. So both, if you connect both matplotlibs and pandas, so you can beautifully plot lot of charts. So here you can see some different chart area plot, and this is a series. This is a kd plot. Kd is a distribution. This for example probability distribution and all. So this is beautiful things, charts to plot your data set, to analyze your data set. Now, what is SciPy? So SciPy is a collection of mathematical algorithm and convenient functions built on the NumPy extension of Python. Means it is work with NumPy at, because some functions is not available in NumPy, so it is extension of NumPy using with some extra or some alternative functions. So for example, from SciPy you can import linear algebra, because lots of function is not available in NumPy, but all the function which is available in NumPy is available in SciPy. So it adds significant power to interactive Python sessions by providing the user with high level command and classes for manipulating and visualizing data. So I hope you are getting something. Okay, so SciPy, some basic function which is available with SciPy extra function is like um, this polynomial function. So for polynomial, you can use SciPy. For example, from NumPy, import poly one dimension. So if by using this function, you can make a polynomial equation of 3, 4, 5, and when you print this polynomial, so it will give 3x square plus 4x plus 5. So when you write polynomial equation. So if you need to give the values of a, b, c, so it will gives you answer in the form of a x square plus bx plus c. All right. So if you want to multiply both p, one polynomial equation with another polynomial equation, so you can just do a simple operation of multiplication. So it will give the power of 4. So this is nothing but just to know that some functionality, some advanced functionality is available in SciPy. That's why we are using SciPy when some functions is not available in NumPy. So this is a better way to use them. So
Excuse
you
me,
can, yes.
like this with poly only, do we have poly 2D? Other things also.
What? Sorry.
Like you imported poly 1D from NumPy import poly 1D. So do we have another also like poly 2D or 3D?
Yeah, we have all these things and polynomial for 1D 2D and all these things available. You can check the pandas libraries in better way. Okay, so some vector functions is also available. For example, this is add subtract function. For example, this is a value of a minus b or a plus b you are doing with vector. So let's this is your first vector and this is your second vector, and you want to add or subtract, so it will give the result in the form of this. So if you are subtracting, so this minus this will give it will give 3 minus 3 plus 3 minus all these things. So add subtract means sequentially it will add some values or subtract some values. So this is some spatial functions available if you want to decorate your analyze your data set much more better in the three dimension or something much more better, so you can use this spatial function. So today's target is to learn a logistic regression. Okay. So Seaborn is different plotting libraries. Scientific plot you can use using Seaborn. So let's see this chart. It is much more better to think. Okay. So first I'm gonna say these things with the help of inbuilt function, and after that I will teach this with the help of Scratch. So in here, what you need to do, you are using a Seaborn function. So Seaborn is a library for making statistical graphics in Python, and it builds on top of Matplotlib and integers closely with Pandas data structure. Seaborn helps you to explore and understand your data. All right. So you can see here, this is a uh, nice chart, histogram plot. So Seaborn gives a lot of functionality. Joint plot, you can join two different plots here, and with the help of here you can also see this is two different plots here. So this is nothing but just to tell you that Seaborn is also plotting libraries. So now what we are gonna do here, we are taking a data set of uh, advertisement, and based on that because you know, if you go on any site and you see any advertisement, so you click on that advertisement. So what we can see here, we will try to create a model that will predict whether or not they will click on an ad based on the feature uh, of the user. Okay, so this data set contains daily time spent on site. Sorry. So uh, what does it means? It is a consumer time on site in a minute. So you probably spend some time on any site. So this is some records already found. So age is customer age, area income, average income of geographical area of consumers. So based on these parameters, based on your city, based on your gender, based on your country, time stamp, how much time you spend on any site. So based on all these features, this is called features. So based on these features, you are predicting whether this advertisement is good for you or not. So for this, you need some libraries to import. You can import these libraries in the starting, or you can import these libraries in the anywhere you want. So we prefer that what libraries you need, you should import all the libraries in the starting. All right. So first we need to get data, because our data will be present in some form, like in CSV form, like in text form, in some JSON form. So data set form may be anything. So there is different uh, libraries to import different uh, formats. So pandas is already told you that any data set you can import using the pandas library. So this is using for panda.csv. This is function available in pandas. So it is importing this data set from my this directory. So this data set is available on this drive. Okay, so if you want to check your records, this is called records and tuples, you can say. So and these all are features. So if you want to show some records, like 3 4 records, you want to check what is present in your records or not, so you can write add data, because you take these things all in add data. So you can use head function. So head function gives you top records. If you write here top 5 records, 7 record, 10 records, so it will show in this format. All right, I am hoping that you are getting my point. So here there is one function of info. So by using this info function, what you can do, you just can know everything about your data set. Like there is 1,000 entries from 0 to 999. So this is the indexing, and this is the basic things you all know about this. So don't need to explain much. And this is another function, describe function, which is used to view some basic statistical details like percentile, means, standard deviation, and some data frames and series in a numerical form. So this is all about description of data set. So exploratory data analysis, you can take any feature, any column, and you can make a histogram of that data set. You can use any number of wins for this. When here wins here describe the taking the interval, what you are taking. Okay, so joint plot is joining two different columns, plot in a single plot. Okay, so all right. So next, create a distribution. We can also create a KDE distribution. So what is KDE? Nothing but a kernel density estimation is, in a statistics. It is a also as a way of estimate the probability density function of a random variable. This function uses Gaussian kernels and includes automatic bandwidth determination. So just if you want this Gaussian function, so you need to write here KDE. So after that, this is also different ways to plots anything, visualize your data in better form. Now come to logistic regression. So first step in logistic regression is to uh, take your data, and if you want to drop anything from that data, you feel that it is not important in our prediction, these fields are not important in our prediction, so we can leave that by using this drop function. So what you are gonna do, this add drop you are using, so you are removing these things, you are not taking these things. And so now the first saying this all using the sklearn um, library. So sklearn is here used for all the models available in this kind of thing. So you can just import this by using the sklearn.model selection. Model selection uh, used for here. You can import train test split, and it means uh, you have some number of rows in your records, but what number of lines you are using for training, what you are using for testing. So in for this purpose you can split your data into train and test. You can also divide this data into train, test, validation as well. So for this, here you are dividing in your full data into two parts, for training as well as for testing. So testing size you need to describe here. Apart from this testing size, whatever data is remain, it will use for training. So these are four things we are taking, because of whole data we are dividing into this X train, X test, by train, by test, for training and testing. So uh, from inbuilt function, you can directly import logistic regression from this linear models. So you don't need to do much. You can just import this and call this function, and by using this function you have called, and you can fit your training and testing data set, and you can uh, train your model, your logistic regression model. After that, you need to predict or evaluate how your model is working, how your model have trained. So for this, you already inbuilt function is available in this library, so you can uh, call this function log model dot predict your model dot prediction. So for X test data set, it have some prediction like uh, like 1010, because logistic regression used for binary data set, like whether you are saying this yes or saying this no, in the sense like whether you are going to purchase this, whether you are going to not purchase this, whether you are visiting this site, whether you are not visiting your site. For other data set, like whether cancer, so you whether you have cancer or you don't have cancer. So there is only two possibilities for this logistic regression. So in this way, it is predicting that this is one, next record is 0 0 1 0. It means yes, it is one. So this is some prediction. So what we are gonna do, we just need to write a classification report. It is nothing but you can uh, call other different way to predict your accuracies, your matrix of, and prediction matrix, evaluation matrix, all these kinds. So this is, if you want to know more about this precision recall and of F1 accuracy measures, so I will take another class of all these things. So this is by using logistic regression, by using the inbuilt function. Now, here is another example. How?
Ma'am,
Yes, yes.
ma'am, please explain logistic regression, the last part, like the data set, what you used. Yes, ma'am, add dropped from here. Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
okay. In starting, I have told you that we have a data set of advertisement. So, in advertisement data set, these are your fields: daily time spent on time site, you have age, you have area income, you have daily internet use, ad topic lines, cities, male and female. So these are your records. So this is your data set. You can see this data set in this form, and all these are present in a CSV file in my drive. Okay, so this is sorry, this is divert, for divert is another function. This is for advertising dot CSV. So this file contains all the x rows and columns of this attributes. Now you got what is the data and why we are adding and dropping these things. Some fields, because you have all the records of advertisement, but might not be, some fields might not be useful. You feel that these are not worth using in my prediction. So that's why we are dropping some field. If we want, then we can drop, otherwise there is no need to drop any features. So in the last part, uh, here I am just showing that if you want to drop, you are feeling that your name is not necessary to predict anything, or your age is not much more related to predicting this thing, so you can drop that field, that that one particular column from your data set, so that your training will perform on specific columns. All right, so here you need to divide your data set, because what you do, you have, you first you need to train anything, and then you have to test. In general life, you did this thing now. First you need to train someone, then you test that things. So in here we are dividing the data set into two parts. First part, training. Some data we are giving for training, and some data we are giving for testing. So after training also gonna do one x train and y train. X train and y train is why, because in x train labels is present, but for testing label is not here. Like because that's why you are doing your prediction now. Okay, based on this x axis and y x train and x test, you predict some model, and after that how your model is performing on your test data set. So I hope now you are getting these things. Any other doubt you can ask.
What is the random state there?
Random state is nothing but some features we are using here. You can remove this as well. These are function taking this all the parameters, random state, test size. So now I think we should. Any other doubt you have?
Ma'am, can you share this file with us as well right now so that we could also go over it?
Sure, sure. After this code,
Neelu,
I will share. Yes, sir.
1 minute. Yeah, so I think this is fine. We don't have to explain them the coding from scratch, right? So they are not computer science students. Or that is more
Yes.
like these are still second year students, not just that. So I think
All
you
right,
can
sir.
give this code and let them do their one. The part which you explained from scratch is not needed. Okay. So
Okay,
you
sir.
just give you explained, let them practice, and if they have doubt, we can discuss. We can also discuss on Saturday. Okay, so maybe we can do one more session on logistic regression. This file you please share, and then question that random state. Okay. So let me explain that. So like you are given a data, right? So and you are going to split it into training and testing. So how are you going to split it? You randomly pick some of the numbers, some of the samples for training and some of the samples for testing. If you want that split, right, because this is a random thing. So if you want that split to be always same, random, but 10 times you run, that split will be same. Like if the first sample is training, it will remain, you want that to be remains as training. Then you need to give some number in the random state. So that number is a key, like it is something you just give. And if you give that, it makes sure that your splits are always same, and it is for producing result, right? So if your splits it can change if you don't do that. So if you don't keep that random state, you will have a different split every time, and your accuracy and all may slightly change, right? So it's not going to change much, but it might slightly change. But if you want to get the exact same result, you need to give that. Okay. Any other doubt?
Okay,
High
thank you,
level?
sir. Sir, can we take any number, 101 or anything?
Yeah. So that's not a fix, but any number you give, but that should be same. Whenever you run the experiment, you keep it same.
Okay, thank you.
So that's an integer value you can give, any integer value. Okay, and so this logistic regression, how it is different from linear regression, are you getting that? So in linear regression, we were trying to fit a line and predicting some number, right? Here, what we are trying to do? We are predicting some Boolean label, right? So it's like you have two labels, whether, so in this example, I think whether you click this advertisement or not, let's say that's a task. So then you are going to use logistic regression. So just I think Neelu, you can share it on Google Classroom and let them practice first. I think let's do that. And any doubt from the previous class? Like we are going to do some more session on NumPy, especially the it's like reshaping and all, and squeezing and dimension related issues. But let's wait for that. But at least whatever you are doing, this is the time you should do enough practice, because we are going slow intentionally, so that whatever you learn it properly. So instead of hurrying things, we are going slow, and just few exercises we are giving. So just do that, and whatever practice things we are posting, please do that. You don't leave that for the last minute. Yeah, that's okay. So let's that's a good feedback, and it's not a we will do something for this. We'll plan it better from the next time, right? So let's don't worry. Yeah, so the files are shared by Neelu. So is sharing this. You can start practicing now. You can look into things and practice.
Sir, in the last class, we discussed about.
Yes, you're not very clear. Who is this?
Sir, I will type.
Okay, can you speak a bit?
Yes, sir. So in the last class, we discussed about plotting of graphs and graph on plot library. Sir, how to deal with non-inclusive ranges?
What do you mean by non-inclusive ranges?
Sir, like the endpoint is not defined. Let's say,
Okay, so it's minus infinity to plus infinity, is it?
yes, sir, like that.
So yeah, means you really do not load such thing on the computers, right? Means why do you want to plot the first of all? I would like to know.
So, like if we are plotting the graph of sec x, then we cannot write the value of pi by 2. But if the pi by 2 is the lower bound of the range, then what should we do?
So your range is out of domain or
Yes, sir, the range is out of domain. Yes, sir.
not domain? Domain is fixed. Is
Uh,
it? So like
domain
one
is
upon
fixed.
one upon x.
Yes, sir, and x tends to 0.
Okay.
But x will not attain the value of 0.
Okay, let me try to do that. If I can say. Right. So this is how to be last time. So instead of this, now you are saying I'm going to plot y is equal to 1 upon x. Right?
Yes, sir.
Let's see what it does. What happened? This is plotting x in that range, and y is, what is this? Y is this. X will be, so these values are not changing, or let's put try.
I think they are showing no value at x equals to 0 because it is not a number according
Yeah,
to
it is not defined,
number.
but I'm just looking into why the other values seems to be
Because it is a range only. X
right, but
equals to minus 5 to 5. It is a range, and by default, it is taking the value 0.
just a minute, maybe, yeah, Debrat.
Yeah.
So I'm just, no, my doubt here is these numbers are looks constant, right? Why is that?
0, because it is here, x is actually,
Oh, it's
x is
the value it is taking?
minus 5 to 5. X is varying from minus 5 to 5.
Right, so it is 1 by 5.
Yeah.
So, no, but if I increase this, it change. Oh, what happened? So, no, the thing is, it is playing
It is plotting
so
a
it is
constant.
integer division. It's an
Constant
integer
value.
division. It's an
Yes, it is a,
integer division. So shall we do plot, or
yeah,
will
float
that,
we can use, I think.
maybe that work, that should work maybe. No, what is it? This is not float. Yeah, anyone can correct me because I'm not fully familiar with some of these
Comments.
words.
Hello, sir. Your
Float,
float
yeah.
should be
Sir,
outside this bracket. You
Oh,
don't need to write bracket.
Outside the bracket.
oh, is
Yes.
it? Okay. No, that's not float. Only size 1 arrays can be converted to Python scalar. 1 by x, right? So,
Excuse me, sir.
yes.
Sir, try doing np dot float. I mean,
np dot plot, that works. Let's see.
no, sir, it won't work. Sorry.
np dot double is there? No. Yeah. Yes, this works, but even then, range seems to be always same. I don't know why is this. At 0, it is showing that there is no value perhaps because it's just merging. But after a while, right? So it is what? 2, it should be 1 by 2. Something strange happening.
Sir, what we are plotting here, minus 5 to 5, and in one axis we are using 0.01. So if this range is divided into this inverse into 1 upon x, then it is a minor value. That's why it is plotting all
No,
these values exactly same for all
no,
other.
but it still is some value, right? Means
Yes, sir.
So try making the range of input as -1 to 1. Hope we get a better graph.
-1 to 1.
So we can increase the step size to 100, then we can get, no sir, a bigger value.
Bigger value.
Step size should be great. Like try using sir 100.
No, but how will you have a value there? 100 will not be anything, right? Because
Between -1 and 1.
x is what?
But sir, 1 upon x is,
No, but your x, if you just print, that's thing. X is just 1 because you this is -1 plus 100. It's not going to work, no? It is something. So 1 by, so these are the values of x, right? This is -1, this is 0.8, 0.6, 0.4, and 1 upon 0.8. Print y. Of course, I don't know what we need to do it for. -1, 1.25, 1.66. Changing, but why this is? Yeah, okay, let me look into this. Can discuss. I think there is something happening. Anything else?
So it's not actually showing the value, sir. If you do it from -10 to -9, then it is showing that the value is very small. Actually, the plot is adjusting it.
Yeah, but it's adjusting too much, right? Because if you see, so I think I don't know how to do that. Let's look into that. How will you give the range in plot? Giving range. Let's see, plotting 1 by x. So here is the thing, like you actually have to remove 0 because 0 it's not defined. So using this, so there is this np dot set diff 1d, and then it will work.
Ma'am, please give access to the material that you have shared. It is not opening.
Yes, I am giving. Actually, I have shared that link using classroom in different way. Okay, I'm setting.
Use np dot arrange in place of np dot line spacer.
NP dot.
Line space linspace
Yeah, that's what I that
and minus 10 से 10 and give a positive integer there, integer value.
yeah, that's work. So I think what is happening, if you don't remove 0, for 0 it is very high value, and it's just trying to adjust that, right? So we, because of that adjustment, you can't see. So you need to remove 0 where it is not defined, and then plot. That's the best way.